So day 4, believe it or not, we're getting there. The progress is coming along considering I was on my own yesterday. Today we are going to tile the floor, and the aim of the game here is to get it tiled as quick as possible so we can use rapid set and get the toilet back in so that she can use the toilet tonight. This is the problem when you're working for clients that are actually living in the house or only have one toilet. You have to work around their requirements and their needs, and obviously you cannot leave a client without a toilet. And unfortunately this one only has the one toilet, so every day we're basing what we get done around the ability to get a toilet back in at the end of the day. So that's why I rushed to get the detromat down last night, because if I did the detromat today I'd have to wait for that to set before I could start tiling. So, and then obviously then that makes it hard to get the toilet in. So I've now got a full day to muck about, tile this floor, and then I can go off, get something to eat while the tiles are going off, come back and then carefully walk on the tiles, get a toilet back in, clean and depeg it, because in this temperature, it go off really quick. So that's the plan anyway. So we've had a chat with a client and this is the general pattern. Obviously it's not the exact layout, but this is how we're going to be doing the floor. It's going to be going portrait basically from the doorway in. Obviously we're going to centre line it, because the bath curves round. You want to be able to see that that's a centred tile, even though there's a big old bath going in here. It doesn't go all the way to that wall obviously. So we will centre this floor completely, and then the idea from that then, if we get it all nice and centred, we'll use the centre lines then to go up the wall either side, and up that wall either side, so all the tiles look like they wrap up. All the lines will then follow all the way around the bathroom. It just makes it look tidier, makes it look like you put a bit of effort into it, but obviously we also have to take into consideration the window, so we need to make sure that we don't have too much of a sliver going up that window. So I will centre line this, and then what it'll be, the centre line will either be through the centre of a grout line or through the centre of a tile, and hopefully we'll get a tile that's going to be of a decent thickness there. Obviously these tiles are going to be going that way, but if we can still get one of the grout lines to look like they line up, it would look good. But we will see how things pan out. So before we go any further, let's get these tiles up off the floor, get the toilet out and start measuring up, get a pattern going. That's working out pretty good actually. The way it's working out is really, really good. So as you can see, got a black line going through the centre that way, black line going through the centre that way. We're using our laser to project a laser line up that wall. Now you'd think if these tiles were, that was our grout line say, and this tile was that way, and that was our grout line, it's pretty much a full half tile there, but it's just shy. And because this reveal kicks out, by the time we've squared it with a bit of adhesive, that's going to cause us a problem. So we altered the floor tiles to look like that, which makes the floor work absolutely perfect because there's going to be no waste pretty much. That is under half a tile, so, and it's the same that side obviously. So that, with that cut, we'll do that side and that side, or even up this side, however you want to work it. The cut that you get off of that tile will basically do this end. So you're minimising the waste. Obviously we're going around there and we're going to be cutting a very small amount off, and there'll be a cut to there as well, but the cut to there is going to be minimal. It's going to be, it's going to be almost half a tile to there basically, just under half a tile. So that's fine. So the floor pattern is going to work out lovely for minimal waste. Our lines will all run up the walls lovely. I'm not worried about the side walls and the left walls. This wall here is basically going to be, the grout line will almost butt to that door frame, perfect again. It's looking nice. So, and if you look at the grout line, this will be our grout line. So there's our laser line, but that grout line will be what effectively follows our floor line. So if we start putting a full tile there and went that way to measure up with our next grout line, which will effectively be that tile line, so that grout line will be there. We've got a decent size cut, and if you've got that size cut there, then you're your next tile is going to be basically a 3/4. So if you called that a quarter, this is going to be 3/4. So you're going to get some nice cuts there. Obviously, when we do the walls, we will try and work it so that our tile line comes across that sill line, maybe a bit higher, because we've got quite a lot to play with there. So if we need to, we'll get the bath in, project our line across, work out our height, and if we need to pack that out, we can just dot and dab some tile board or plasterboard in there, bring that up to the necessary height for our tiles. So because we've got so much room to play with on the window there, height wise, we can bring that up pretty much to whatever we want it to be. So that should work out really well. Obviously we've got to scrape all this loose crap off and seal and prime all these walls yet, but I'm not concerned about that at the moment. Today's priority is literally tile this floor. So we know where we're going to go, we know what we're going to do. So what I can do now, I can actually tile from this line that way, do that whole section, and then I can then tile working from the toilet towards me. I can then potentially, once I get a couple of tiles in there, I could carefully put the toilet in, sit in there, connect it all up, test it, and then finish tiling. Because I'm using self-leveling clips, and this floor is pretty damn good for level, there's going to be very little mucking about here. So it's just going to be a matter of getting it flat basically, and a bit of mucking about to get it level, not a lot. And because I'm using the leveling clips, I should be able to put the toilet in without any issues. And by the time the client gets back tonight after work, she should be able to walk in here, use the toilet without any problems at all. So you just have to be careful, because obviously the self-leveling clips potentially still be in until tomorrow. So that being said, we know what we're doing, let's get stuck in. Oh, and we've got to tank that wall first thing as well. So we're going to tank bandage that seam, that corner down beyond the bath line, prime it first with the primer, which was down there, the Mappy primer, which is part of that kit. So Mappy primer that bit, and then use the tanking paint to tank it, and once that's done, we can tile. Let's get stuck in. Right, Ricky has now primed the wall around the bath using the Mappy shower waterproofing kit primer. So basically this is for the primer, the tanking paint we're going to use. As you can see, he's given it all a thorough coat. It will dry rapidly in this heat, but it just basically seals the plasterboard back ready. So once that's gone off, we're going to put our tanking bandage up that corner and just down that joint, and then we'll roll it all in. It's got to have 2 coats, roughly an hour in between each coat. So we'll do the first coat now, and then we'll have something to eat, because I'll order some breakfast while it's going off, and then we'll throw another coat on it. That way then tomorrow we can basically get the bath in and start tiling straight away basically. But yeah, that's the general plan anyway, so see you soon. Okay guys, so we're ready to start tanking. So what we're going to need is a paintbrush. Use my glasses before they fall off my head. You need your paintbrush, make sure it's clean, your tanking paint, and your tanking bandage. So the first thing we're going to do is this corner. So what you're going to do first of all, you're going to slather it up. Don't be shy, put as much on there as you can, because it's got to act as basically an adhesive. So make sure you get a real thick coat on it. Really pile it on. And then in my opinion this is overkill, but it is now part of your regs. I think you've got to supply tanking, so I've been told it's part of the regs, so it's got to be done. I'm just going to get a coat on it, and then I'm going to lay it on again, so a bit heavier. Ricky, could you just try and cut us a bit of bandage to length, mate? Save me trying to do it. And it's all done then, I'll just put it straight on. Just go down to roughly sort of there. Use the other one because it's longer. So I'm really putting this on heavy. Obviously we don't have to go right down below the bath level.
No, you just have to get into the bits there.
Oh, that way. Oh, the bath's going to be higher than that anyway. What we do, cut that off. That nice crap. Nah, it's just a crap knife. Right, so there's no right way or wrong way to put this on, because this is basically stuff I had in the warehouse, basically in my storage. So we're just going to do from the bottom up, that way then we know we're getting a good tank seal, and we'll just put a little piece in at the top. So we should get roughly half a bandage in the middle, like so. Really get it tucked into your corner. So, on that, the corner. 2 seconds, mate, I'm just trying to. There we go. That's fine. So once you've got it on there, you're literally going to stab it in with your brush and put another coat of tanking over the top. And this will help stick it in. And push it right in that corner. Make sure you really stab it in, because it will affect how your tiles go on the wall. If that's proud and it's not sticking properly. This is just basically putting a seal in the corner for you. I need to cut another little piece just to go up the top there. Overlap it. If you do have to overlap it, make sure you overlap it so that the water can't get behind the bandage, as I have here. I've got a bit of a crease in the bandage at the bottom here, which I've still got to sort out, but I can do that in a second.
Putting a piece at the bottom?
Nah, don't need to, it's beyond the bath.
You ain't going to use this tiny bit, are you?
No. There's that. Alright, sort this crease out. Really pushing that bandage in there, and that's that bit done. And then we're going to do another one. We don't really need to do this one so much because it's not going to be within the shower radius, but we will put one here anyway. Well, with what we've got, I'm not going to bother going right to the ceiling as long as I've got the lower section done, because it's not a shower and it's just going to help seal this wall up for us later on. The main priority really was that corner there. So, roughly above bath level, and we're just going to do up to there. So if this was a shower, we'd be doing it floor to ceiling. This was in the shower, but it's not, it's just a bath. So this isn't priority really. Doesn't necessarily need to be done this bit, but we're doing it just because we don't want water getting behind. If it ever does, which is pretty much impossible when you consider this is a bath, not a shower, which I have to keep stipulating, because I am going to get someone on the comments saying, oh, you should go all the way to the top and you should be doing this. You always get them people, the know-it-alls. Like I said, if this was an actual shower, then that would not have been joined. It would have gone straight to the floor. The whole floor would have been tanked, would have taken the whole floor area as well. But we don't need to do that because it is a bath. The bath's going to be siliconed, and you've got a shower, and it's not like the water's going to wash up over the edge of the bath unless you're going to flood the whole bathroom. So all we've got to do now is basically roll the tanking on there, roll the tanking on here, and then let that go off, give it an hour, and then that can have another coat. So I can now leave Ricky with that while I wash my hands up. Okay, so we had a change of plans. The little roller wasn't really working, it was putting it on too thin, so I took over with the paintbrush and slathered it all over with the paintbrush. It was a bit quicker, gave a much better coat, and while I was doing that, Ricky was getting tiles and adhesive ready to go. Okay, so fully first coated. As you can see, I did my usual trick and I jumped in and took over from Ricky. But while I was doing that, he was bringing up tiles and sorting out the gear. So he's got all the tiling gear ready to go. He's got our bags of adhesive, he's got tiles, whisk. Extension lead has been run for the whisk. So what we're going to do, while this is drying, we are going to start laying and we're going to dry fit all the tiles so we can get some rough cuts done. So this whole area we will dry fit underneath here so that when I knock the adhesive up, it's just a matter of throw the tiles down, job done. Nice, quick, easy. So I'm going to do some more marking out. I'm going to start laying the tiles out. I'm going to do all my first cuts. Hopefully by the time I've done that, we better put a second coat on this wall. We can then second coat the wall, knock the adhesive up, tile this whole section nice and clean, make sure we're all level with all our tiles, and then once that bit's done, we can then move on to the second bit. So let's get stuck back into that. Okay, so we've cut half the tiles for half the floor. So these are only cut and dry fitted for the minute. If you're wondering why there's no tile there, one, it's under the bath. The only reason that one's there because it was an off cut for that piece. By keeping it like that, I get maximum fall in the pipe. So that's why that's like that. It's as simple as that. So we get maximum fall to come for our waste pipe. But yeah, that's that bit done. The tanking is almost dry. So what we're going to do, we will label these all up. 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, 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 blah. And then put them to one side. I'm going to put a batten across the floor here. So I want something to actually physically put the tiles to so that they won't move while I'm leaning over and stuff. And then we will put another coat of paint on the tanking on. And then we'll knock up some gear, throw those tiles down, and then we will effectively cut this section here, lay them, cut the next section, lay them. This way I'm minimising the time the adhesive has to go off because I'm not doing cuts in between laying, and I can just throw a load of gear down, throw the tiles down, knock up a gauge to do just that area or thereabouts. Minimising the waste basically, that's what your aim is. We've got plenty of stuff. We've got 2.5 bags to do the floor in rapid set. I'm not going to use 2.5 bags. I've got half bag left over from the Detromat, and I bought 2 bags. Just as a precaution, whatever I don't use, I will use on the first row of tiles. It's not going to be the end of the world. So that being said, let's get this coat on the walls, get these tiles down and get stuck in. So, flooring's all been lifted now, ready for adhesive. We've now second coated the tanking, so I'm happy with that now to be left for us to do work tomorrow. What I also did before I lifted the tiles up was I put 2 screws in, one there and one there, and I just put my level wedged against it. The tiles are all tucked against that. That would just give me something solid and straight to put my first row of tiles to, then I can work my way back, and then they can lift that, put our spacers in, and then start working on this side. That is purely just to give me something to butt to so that I'm minimising it moving while I'm tiling. It's a big help doing something like that. There's no pipes under this floor except for here, but that's only just gone through enough to get a bite on the floor, so I've got no worries about that. So first job really now is knock up a gauge of rapid set and start tiling. So okay, let's give you a bit of a bird's eye view for a minute. So this is where we're going to start. So first tile will be our centre tile, and this is it here. I've already got the line marked, basically it's just going to sit straight there like that. Bosh, that'll be our first tile. Spacers, go that way, simple as. So, first thing we're going to do is dump some gear down. What we're going to do first, before we put trail lines in, we're actually going to fill the Detromat. So we're going to put a nice skim, fill all the gaps in our Detromat. sure we get a nice good bond. This is a thing you must always do. Get that Detromac filled up. Make sure we get it underneath here as well. That's enough for our first row. And with that, put a dollop or two down, start laying some tiles. Now you can see the benefit of why you do your cuts first. You can lay a lot quicker and you're not limited on time to do your cuts and that in your adhesive time. So that's our first row done. For what? Oh, for the food? It's going to be a while yet, maybe 20 minutes or so. So first tile, what we're going to do, we're going to butter it up. Always back butter your tiles. I will also be putting my trail lines on. It's quite difficult to do when you're trying to film as well. So, I always clean off one edge. Have a bucket of water handy. So the edge I'm butting up to my level, I want to make sure that's nice and clean. The other edges I can sort out afterwards. And let's see, pencil line. So splodger in. Give my hands a clean. Put my spacers in, and then I'll check for level. I like to use a chisel just to clean the adhesive away from the grout lines. Just helps you get your spacers in and keep your tiles clean. Makes cleaning a lot easier. Gee, brick effect, so I've got to remember double up on the amount of spacers. Making sure that we're not moving. Get a couple of tiles down and then I'll check for level. That's our our first row in. Now we've got to do is just infill the rest. That'll go off rapidly and then we can start this section. So I did that a bit cock-handedly really, because trying to do the back tiles was a bit of a nightmare, trying to stretch over the existing tiles I've already laid. But we got it done. So as you can see, that whole half now is fully tiled. Yes, I know there's probably 5 tiles, 6 tiles that's wasted because they're under the bath. But with the tiles being down, I can now measure up for my bath panel, check my height, and I can get that bath in the exact right position so the bath panel will just slide in underneath. And we can test fit the bath panel. So for the sake of 5 tiles, it was worth doing, I think, but you know, each to their own. I'm not going to tile that because I want to keep the pipe as low as possible. It may not help us, but it might, so we'll see. But that's never going to be seen, it's behind the bath, so it's the least of my worries. So your next job really now is to tile this section here so that we can get the toilet back in, which isn't going to be fun. Basically I'm going to have to tile it, put the tile on, put the toilet on carefully, connect it all up, test it, and then crack on with the rest of it. At least then they will dry with this bit of weight, but there's not a lot of adhesive under these tiles because the floor's pretty good in the way of level, so it make it a lot easier for the toilet to sit on there, and it isn't going to affect the lay of the tile, especially with these leveling clips that I use. But we'll see how we get on. I'm going to lay these 4 tiles or 5 tiles, whatever it is, and then we'll figure it out from there, I suppose. I'm going to dry fit them first, make it easier for myself. So I'm going to get that done, and then we'll see how it pans out. So, pre-cut those ones. Obviously I'm not going to stick that if I can help it, because it just make it awkward getting this tile in. Might be alright, but I need to be able to get my knee there to be able to get to the toilet, to be able to plumb it in. I've only got to do that bolt up, which shouldn't be too hard. I can do that quite close and then push it back. Then just put the pan connector back on, which is currently sitting there. So I'm going to throw these in quick, get them in flat and level, or flat is ideal, and then we'll go from there. Go, toilet is in, there's hardly any weight on that, it's all levelled. Once we get the rest of these tiles in, that'll be fine. I have warned my client that is going to be loose and wobbly, so if she uses it, she's got to be very careful. By the time she gets home about 8 o'clock tonight, that will be gone off. It's only half 11 now, so that'll be solid by the time she gets home if she needs to use it. So just need to concentrate now on this last 1.5 square metres. And that's us done for today. I mean, if I can, I would like to depeg some of it and clean it, because once rapid set goes off overnight, it's a nightmare to clean the grout lines. But I'm not going to lose sleep over it. We just take our time tomorrow, carefully cleaning everything, and then we get some protection down, bath in, tiled, crack on. Floor tiled, rapid set adhesive, couple of hours, that can be walkable. I don't know what you guys think, but personally I quite like that. That looks pretty damn good from here inwards. It's a bit off centre in the doorway, but we've got even cuts everywhere. Everywhere's an even cut. There's an even cut, there's an even cut, there's an even cut, there's an even cut. It's perfectly centred. Don't worry about that line jottering in and out, because there's a lot of plaster missing from down there, which we need to do something with, but we'll probably fill that with tile adhesive or something nearer the time. There's a few bits on this wall as well I need doing. That wall I'm not worried about, because that's going to be all cabinetry. I've cut the soil up a little bit more so the toilet can go back and sit dead centre of that tile for now, so that at least that way the weight is evenly distributed on that tile. But I think that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So tomorrow we will literally come in, depeg all this, clean all the grout lines out, hoover, wash, thoroughly clean it, dry it. Then we're going to put black Corex down. There's loads of different names for it. It's basically a thick plastic which will gaffer tape and securely fix to the floor. Bath will go in, siliconed in, on a batten, feet levelled, everything like that. Get that all looking nice. Potentially get the waste connected, so that's done. Get the condense pipe done. Well, we will do that because we want to get the condense done before the bloody bath goes in. Otherwise I'll be making it hard for myself. Get the bath in, condense, waste connected, just so that it's done. We can test it then as well. We can pour buckets of water down it, make sure that's not leaking. And then we can start tiling the walls. I'm not quite sure whether I would, ideally in an ideal world, you would tile around the bath first, but what I might do is tile this wall here first, because I can do that leaning over. Depending on how awkward it is to get over the bath, we've got to protect that. I don't want to be putting unnecessary weight on the bath because I'm going to silicone it to the wall. It's going to be on a batten and siliconed. So the more moving around I do, the worse the silicon seal will be, will make it harder for me. But we'll figure it out tomorrow. I'm not overly concerned about it. But anyway, guys, that's us done for today. Come back tomorrow for the end of week video. Should have a fair bit of tiling done tomorrow, I reckon. At least two, officially about 2 walls. Probably finish tiling Tuesday, I would have thought, maybe Wednesday. And then Wednesday and Thursday grouting and second fix. Lights, light switch, light fitting, mirrors and bits and bobs. But anyway, I digress. Let's get stuck in, get home, get tidied up, and we'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget, like, share, follow, subscribe, hit that like and share button, guys. Really appreciate it. Bye bye.